Okay, so now this is the first part of our working process for the abstract project. So we're just going to talk about like our idea right now and kind of the planning we've been doing.
Okay, so first off, our main idea is going to be it's realism versus what is it? Abstract. And so we're going to apply that to not kind of architecture in a way. And so here is what we've done so far. We're going to kind of talk about each idea.
So the first thing we had, it starts at 0 because we thought it would be cool if we started with the street. So maybe the streets could be empty, then flash to being full, then flash to, I don't know, at night versus day, and just change. And then we could add different effects, such as make it really blurry, so that it becomes more abstract. And just kind of play with that and see how it can take a real street and then on video editor or somehow get it so it becomes more simplistic and more abstract.
And because we are, wait, when is this due? Because what time does winter break?
Before February break, so in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, never mind. But but we're going to The Hague soon, so we're gonna try to find like architecture specific to that area, and we'll also like probably go around Helsinki, stuff like that. And yeah, and then should I talk about
Doors.
And we're just gonna go to different kinds of doors, like a normal door, brown door, black door, white door, and then get to like more intricate doors or like fancy or something like that.
And then see where that goes. And then we're gonna have a doorknob. We don't have any pictures here, but we might start with a normal doorknob. Maybe get to a fancy doorknob, and then maybe go to a door with no doorknob, just like the hole. So we can. It kind of depends what we find because we can't really create unless we went out and bought like 50 doorknobs and like doors and stuff. So yeah, what we're talking about, this is like our initial idea, and hopefully we'll be able to work with this. We're also planning on going to IKEA.
Oh yeah.
Because we feel like this is a really good place to film because there are so many rooms and doors set up. So if we can't find something in the city or in like one of our houses or something, then we could always go to IKEA. But yeah, so the doorknob, it would kind of just play around with the idea of different doorknobs and then maybe no doorknob.
And then and then we're gonna go through like different kind of hallways. So I don't know, maybe like a school hallway and then a hallway, hallways in like different places. But I don't know, would we feature like people, like one hallway that's full of people, one that's not?
Well, actually, the initial idea was to have like one person walking through all these.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be like we would film one person walking down an empty street, one person, and the same person walk down like a full street, and then we would switch back and forth so it looks continuous, but at the same time, like the surroundings are changing.
Yeah. But the only problem with that is that like if we have one of us do it, and we like maybe have to do some pictures on our own, then we won't have like the other person there.
So I'll see if that's too difficult.
Okay.
Then we go to wall, so we could have like a classic wall, a normal wall, maybe a wall with like paintings or something, maybe a graffiti wall, and then go to like just a black wall or just a white wall where you might not even be able to see it's a wall because it's like very abstract.
And then we'll go to like furniture, like a bed, and we'll have a bed that's just made like kind of plain, maybe a cool one, maybe one that's like unmade and stuff like that. And then no bed.
And then just covers or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are our original ideas. It's kind of hard when you're working with like real things to try and make them abstract because, I mean, a lot of things like in a sculpture or a painting or something, you can edit. I mean, like you can look at the picture and then kind of see what you can do. But if you have a picture of a hallway, then it's kind of hard to make it abstract. So it's something we're going to be investigating with how we can make it abstract if it isn't abstract.
Or maybe just like the fact that the two are so different will make it
exactly.
kind of seem abstract.
Exactly. Or the comparison will make it seem abstract. So this is our initial plan. Now we're going to kind of develop this a little more. We can't really film during school hours.
Unless we film like the hallway.
Well, we can film the hallway, yeah. But I think we might contact IKEA and ask for their blessing or permission.
Blessing.
So, yeah, that's it so far. Bye. Okay, so this is the second part of our working process. So yeah, so basically what we did today was we really started researching video techniques that we could use that may differ from our past videos. And we're actually finding now, I mean before because we were just experimenting with iMovie and all its possibilities, now we're actually finding that it's really quite limited. There are different like add-ons, but they cost a lot of money. So iMovie at the moment, it's kind of difficult to work with, so we're going to try and start researching how to get around that kind of, and the little tricks. But yeah.
But then we also thought about more ideas that we could use in our actual project, like the substance. And we thought in The Hague we could, besides taking pictures of like streets in Finland, we could take them in The Hague, maybe see how they differ, and if they're really, really different, then that could be part of like our abstract. And we had other ideas about filming on that plane, or since we're going to MUN, maybe the MUN room or a hotel room, and maybe if we visit somewhere cool, like a museum or something, or some old kind of building, we could do something like that as well.
And we also looked at the possibility of using a green screen just in case, maybe like for example when we're walking down a plain white hallway or something, if we're unable to find that, then we may be able to use the green screen. But this is kind of just our initial thoughts, and it looks quite complicated. So we'll see if we do end up using that. But we'll have to keep researching for that a little. So yeah, our next steps. What's our next step, Kate?
Well, we're leaving this Sunday to go to The Hague, so I guess the next step is to start filming because in this project, we're not focusing on the meaning. We have to focus mostly on like what is going into the video. Oh yeah, that's cool. And then, so what is going into the video? And so we'll try to take a lot of our time actually taking stuff and maybe trying to research techniques. But if we don't use the green stain, most of the techniques that we're planning to use are techniques that we've been using, so I don't think too much research will have to go on that. So
yeah, so next step is basically filming, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we just finished getting all of our footage. So Kate got some in Austria, so we're filming this after. Kate got some in Austria. I got some in China, we got some in Holland together, we got some in Helsinki. So basically now we have all our footage and now we have to start editing. So you want to talk about the editing process?
Okay, well, because we decided to focus the abstract part more on the editing, that's probably going to take a lot of time. So we've decided that we're going to go like the normal picture in the beginning, and then it's going to progress to a more abstract picture. So we're going to like change the crop. We're going to like crop it or move it or flip it and then change it to black and white or something like that. So.
Yeah, and that was just because it was too hard to find like abstract architecture. Like, we really couldn't find in any of the places we went. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So we'll get back to you once we know I've started the editing or finished it. So we just finished, well, we're just meeting now. We finished the editing process. Basically what we did, I edited some, sent it to her. It was kind of a collaboration because, like we said before, this was the one project where it was really hard to work together because we were always away. So yeah, we can just talk about like the final outcome and how the editing process was.
Well, yeah, you already mentioned this, but it was kind of hard to edit because we had originally done it on her computer, and somehow we needed to send that to me. But like we didn't have a flash drive, and it would take, and I don't think it would work on email. So she had to post it on YouTube, and then I had to take that video and put it into a new iMovie account, which ended up not working because it was just kind of difficult because there was already settings that were on her iMovie that I didn't know were on the video. So then I had to like try to like fit it, then my new clips into that video. So it was kind of difficult. So we ended up just me having the clips, and then we'd come back and then edit together when we could like see what the different like, you know, stuff was. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think something hard about the editing was that we kind of changed our idea. So originally, and you'll see in the working process, it was like to have that architecture abstract, but then this changed because we couldn't really find like abstract architecture the way we were looking for. So we decided to make like the editing abstract. So researching and like trying to make the video abstract was actually a lot harder than we thought.
It was a lot like trial and error. Like, you had to like look at it, and then if it didn't look good, try to redo it.
Exactly. And if something did look good, then you would try and find like a variation of that for something else, for example. Because like we didn't want the same thing, because then it's not really abstract anymore. If like all the pictures are just like black and white shaking, like yeah, that doesn't really look good. So yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with it.
Once I saw it, like when, the last time before we presented, I think I was a lot happier with it than we were before, because we were kind of like, we were kind of worried because it was kind of hard. We didn't know how we were going to put a new footage, and we didn't know how it was going to like progress into abstract. But once we figured that out, I think it came together. Honestly.
Yeah. So now
we just have to present.
Well, yeah, we just have to present together. Because I've already presented the beginning part, so Miss Wensu's already seen like the original footage that like we took in Holland and stuff, and then we have like the final editing. So yeah. So this is the final part of our working process. We're actually just in the changing room during lunch. So yeah, we presented for art on Friday. And I think it went pretty well. So we're just going to talk about like how it went, our thoughts on the movie, and like seeing it up on the smartboard, any regrets, and yeah, just etc.
Okay, so well, when we presented it, I was kind of nervous because it was so different from our previous projects. I didn't know how people would like, I don't know how people would react to it. But once I saw it up on the big screen, I really liked it because it was a lot different than what we'd done before, and I thought it was a lot more artistic. Yeah. Instead of us just kind of like testing something out, because I think we did a lot of society kind of things, which were, because they were put into a movie and stuff, it was artistic, but I think this was more.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I think when we were like asked questions, I think we were able to answer them well overall.
Yeah, also, I was a little nervous too because I had already presented on Monday, but it was only half done, and then later that's when we got like all the footage and we got all the editing. So yeah, and so then after I'd already presented once, so then you talked most of the time today, but on Monday when I presented it was mostly me, so I don't know, I kind of felt like we had to like redeem ourselves because like when I showed it on Monday, obviously like half the footage was missing, so then I was really nervous that maybe even with it all together, it wouldn't like live up to everybody's expectations. But when I saw it on the screen, I was really happy with it. I have to say, it was very different. It was a little bit more technical, which I actually liked, and I think we should stick with that.
Yeah.
And kind of like branch out.
Which I think we've talked about for our next project.
Yeah.
So was there anything? Well, if we would change anything?
Oh yeah, if we would change anything. I don't know. I think it would be cool to do to try our original idea with the architecture.
And then maybe like integrate what we ended up with about like editing.
Yeah, integrate like the technical side with the like abstract art. I feel like we just didn't.
We couldn't find
them.
It wasn't possible. Yeah. Definitely in Helsinki, I don't think there's.
Yeah, there's like, not a wide variety of architecture.
And I think we did find something. We did find somewhat cool like architecture, but like it wasn't enough to be the final abstract piece. I think we had to do stuff with it.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean, for abstract, it could be like a white door, but then when it's a video, it's just like a white door. So everybody can see that it's not really abstract. Even if it's like kind of a weird door, they're going to think like, oh, that's a weird door for 1 second, and then they see like, okay. Whereas like if you have like technical effects like shaking or like flipped or a different color, like flashing, then that's a little bit more discreet. Like what is that? I have to think a little bit more. But yeah, so this is our final process. I think we'll have the self-evaluation later. Anything else, Kate?